So he has two with Kiavi Funding, one with Torok Capital Partners
Ah,
LLC, and another one with
okay.
Best REI Funding LLC. So
Okay. I know, yeah. We know Rock really well. Kiavi, like, yeah, they're kind of like Civic, in my opinion. I think I don't know. We'll see what happens with them, but
yeah,
um, I'd say that's not good. Like
yeah,
that's
I know
definitely
that
not
that's already
good.
some red flags, but and then the title reports too. He was like, "Oh, I don't know if he'll get it in time." So I told him, I said, "Well, I'm not gonna fund the loan unless I review the title reports for all three properties that you're offering me collateral on." But he said I would be able to put a 55,000 lien for each property. Because I asked him if the 55 going to be split amongst the three. He's like, "No, I think you're best protected if you do 55 for each property." So I was like, "Okay, well, I like that. I like that protection. Now let's just verify it. Let's just
Honestly, I don't think I don't think it's worth it, Rock, because like it's super risky. Whenever he's backed in a corner right now, so he's desperate. So the
yeah,
reason why he's giving you collateral on all of them is because that's all he doesn't have anything left. There's no equity in there probably anyways. I bet you.
mhm,
So I would be
yeah."
careful with that one for
All right.
sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and that's what I'm thinking. Lose 55 or make 10. I could probably make 10 off my 55 doing something else, maybe in a fix and flip or something. So, and like I kind of wanted to get away from the lending space too and do more learning, more fix and flipping to start.
Yeah. Well, man, keep us updated what you decide to do. For
Okay,
sure.
yeah, yeah. I just saw he sent me an email and then he copied in the title asking to pull title reports for the other two properties. But now I want to clarify that I want to see the title report, not the title commitment, because I think the lady that sent it to me also, I think she works for an insurance, Doma Insurance. I don't even think it's a title agency. Like I want to talk to the title company because I want to make sure they're gonna send me the recorded mortgage. Because Wisconsin's a mortgage state, so I want to make sure they send once it gets recorded. I want to make sure everything is understood. But yeah, I'm kind of starting to slowly lean not to doing it. Yeah.
Well, I think, yeah, be careful with that one though, because we don't know what's gonna happen,
Yeah.
like with him, because like, he sounds like he's backed in a corner, but you're doing the right research and due diligence. So yeah. Um, okay, that kind of leads me to what I kind of wanted to talk about. Just briefly, just to address, because last week I had so much like comments after, and like I told T last night because she was brave and she shared, but that I have to recognize like that's leadership, like because so many more people got the courage after T shared her story, you know, and I think we need that. We need more transparency, because yeah, we need to do our due diligence. Things happen, right? But it's just so amazing how like
The right report should show.
when yeah, when T is like, she shares her situation. Not like she's not the only one, that has to go through one headache project, right? We've all been there. Kiko and I've been there many times. Like like we're and even the ones where we made good money on were headaches and we felt like we lost, you know. Um, so it happens, in this business, especially if you're doing it long enough, you will get into a bad deal here and there. And it comes down to, will you do the right thing, when it comes down to that, right? So I would gauge the last thing with this guy, Jake, that like if it came down to it, would he do the right thing by you? And if the answer is yes, even though it's risky for every other person, but you trust that person inside, then that
Mhm.
he'll do whatever it takes to pay you back and with full interest as promised.
Yeah. So I don't
Then
have that feeling right
okay,
now. You know.
well
I
then
don't
the
know, man. It's,
there
it's not
come
like it's not like it's you. It's not like it's Keikoa. It's not like we don't got that relationship established. We did one deal. I never met the guy, but he paid me, and that's like his only standing ground. But that's still not enough. I feel like, if he did 10 deals and he paid me, okay, yeah, 5 deals or something. But just one, I feel like is not enough.
No, 100%. Yeah. Well, it's interesting to see, like, because I want to see how, like, people, like, when you make the
Oh, there,
decision, why,
yeah.
because I think we
Why? Yeah,
all
like
learn.
what we right, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, 1 second, guys.
And then Jake, it's good that you're doing all the due diligence, but also you gotta feel confident, like 500%, in your heart that that person will still do right by you, no matter what. So, meaning when he's in trouble or his deals are in trouble, you're still going to get your money and
Mhm.
and your interest. So it's it's tough to that he's in foreclosures, like in my opinion, because that kind of sounds like he's not paying even the hard money lenders. Um, so if he's not going to pay the people who are going to come after him, what about the private lenders, who may
Yeah.
not initiate any litigation against him? So yeah, he gotta for sure be good with that.
All right. Thanks, Dave. I appreciate all your help and insight.
Yeah. And sometimes, like, they mean the best, but, they didn't mean to, right? Get into that situation. Nobody ever does. Um, and sometimes they could be the greatest person, but if they're too deep, they can't do anything either, and
Yeah.
that's checkmate. So I would say, yes, be careful with that guy. Is he already foreclosed on, or is it uh, in progress?
I think it's in progress. Yeah, like maybe it just got filed. It's yeah, but he
Okay.
emailed me this morning saying that those properties are also in the are part of the 7 that are being refinanced. So then I googled, can you like refinance out of foreclosure? Is that possible?
Well, it needs
Yeah.
cooperation by the lender. So, like, what happens is when the loan matures, the servicer actually does not take payment. So you're in default of the mortgage, right? The promissory note. So they won't even take payment. So sometimes you have to go and talk to the servicer, get that all clear, get a payoff statement. Everybody has to agree, both sides, the new lender, the old lender, and then so everyone has to cooperate, but if you're trying to exit a loan with like Civic, like they're not answering the phone right now, right? And maybe they will. In fact, they'll probably be calling them, the ones
Mhm.
that they're on, because they just got acquired by Rock Capital. So now they're part of Rock now.
Yeah.
So things are probably transitioning. So they're having time, but that phone call is gonna come,
Mhm.
So it's just I don't know when, so that's the thing. Like, that's another thing too. It's like with working with your lender, your hard money lender, like, yeah, you want to be careful with that too, because when shit hits the fan, which it always does, like, this isn't uncommon right now. There's a lot of people in this situation where they've run out of time. And a lot of these lenders who did the loan like a year ago are in a totally different position they were a year ago. A year ago they were crushing it, and now they're trying to survive. So they're trying to get everything paid back, so it's a different space now. So that's the dark side, man. You never
Yeah.
like to hear that, but happens. And so yeah, be careful.
Did you guys ever have to foreclose on a client?
Oh,
Not
for
yet.
us,
Yeah, for
no, we
keeping.
never had to foreclose. We've come close a few
Big.
times. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
right now, we're seeing a lot of loans go to maturity.
Mm-hmm.
So and it comes down to, is the borrower willing to work with us, or
Yeah.
are they exhausted? Have they given up? Because if so, then they'll start the process now,
Yeah.
so, and it gets harder and harder, like you can't just keep extending, because every time you extend, you pay like a point and a
Yeah.
half, maybe, and at some point, like, you have to pay the loan back.
Yeah.
You can't extend for years upon years. So but now they're more, I think they're a little bit more, what's the word? Like tolerant right now, because they understand what like's going on. It's nationwide, where there's anyone who bought in like 2022, 2021, you know, they might have got stuck with all the backlog with everything.
Mhm.
That's inflation, you know, like contractors were backed up, appraisers, all service providers, you know, like supply chain issues. So it's a no wonder, you know, permits, right? So no wonder like everything's delayed and going over like expected. And now we hit a, you know, a slower market. So properties aren't, you know, moving as fast as they were in 2021, that's for sure. So even when you finish the project, you might have a couple months on market more, you know, so, and then you got to go through another month of escrow before you're done. That's like 3 months right there. You know, if it
Wow.
takes your permits like 6 months, which we all know takes longer than 6 months,
Yeah.
you're already at 12 months. You know, like that's why we're here. That's why there's so much like maturities coming up. And I don't know, we're gonna see people who are in our space that are no longer in our space anymore. So what happens. You know, so be careful. But
Mm.
I'd say like don't sit on the sideline either, because there's opportunity everywhere. We see it every day. Like it's almost too much. So yeah, just be on the right side of it.
Right on.
Be on the right side of it, you have conversations like this. You know, if not, it's just a good reminder, right? And yeah. So yeah, let us know, Jake,
Okay.
what you decide to.
Okay. Will do. Yeah, I'll
And
let you
even
guys
if
know.
you say no, you know, it's like
Yep.
how did you turn it down? What was
Right.
that? You know, you call
Yeah.
them and
Yeah.
say, you know,
Yeah. I'll
yeah,
be down to share that.
yeah,
I'll see what he follows up with. All right.
yeah.
Thanks, Corey.
Nice, man. Um, what's up, Kurt? How's it going, man? You got anybody on that's sharing today that has any listings or anything?
I see Heidi Hole again. Hey Heidi,
Hi,
are
Heidi.
you there?
Oh yeah, thanks for sharing last time. Or maybe even an update, you know, on one to see if anybody had
I
interest or
want to know if
something.
you guys are interested. I can bring on Wendy Oshiro. She does reverse mortgages, and I just talked to her last night. She said if you want her to speak, because she understands cash flow, right? And she
Oh,
has ways of talking to you guys about with reverse mortgage. So if you guys can talk amongst. So if you want her as a guest speaker, we can lay that out down the road.
I wouldn't mind learning more about it. It's starting to come up more and more that I see. But do you think she'd be able to help like Darius at all? Remember
Yeah,
Darius?
I mean, yeah, yeah. I think the information I think she was talking to him about it, and
Oh, good.
um, yeah. So if you guys want to have her just the basic understanding how it actually works, then she can be on the call, and then she understands about cash flow. So there's ways about cash flow by using reverse mortgage. So if you want her to, we can talk offline, Corey. If you want her a date and time, have her talk.
I'd be interested in hearing about that. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Thanks, Kurt. Okay, kind of just jumped right into it. That was great though, because then you got to hear a perspective from like Jake, who's a private lender. You know, like how does he check the boxes and how does he make decisions to get into a deal? And we can be right alongside him while he's doing it, you know, like I think that's what this is all about. So yeah, thanks for sharing that, Jake. It's always like a lot of us
Yeah.
come from the investor side, so we only see one side, you know, and that's why like all of our guys, especially our loan officers, like I want them to understand the investor side too. Because one, I want them to buy property themselves too one day, and some of them are getting very close, you know, and
Yeah.
yeah, understanding fundamentals, you know, and just like that, like understanding Jake's side as a private lender, you know, is important too. One, so that you know what type of deal you feel can get funded and cannot get funded. You know, like not every deal is fundable. You know, like we have institutional capital now everywhere in our space, so money has gotten a lot more prevalent. But when I came like in 2015, like about 8 years ago, it wasn't like this. You know, it wasn't, and like it's become expected now that if you find a deal, you know, and it looks like a deal to you, that's going to get funded. That's not the case, especially nowadays. So you do have to understand the lender side just as much as a lender would need to understand the borrower side as well, I feel. So, but anyways, happy Aloha Friday, everybody. And hope everybody had a great week. It's been busy for us. We're seeing the market kind of pick up nationwide, actually, which is kind of weird, and I love to talk about the market. So kind of want to open it up to everybody, get people's thoughts about what's going on. What do they see? Maybe Kurt, since you're on, I'd love to get your take. Do you see any more action, more than usual, less stale market? Like, what would you call like Hawaii's market?
Well, it's still, it's still strong here. I mean, it's picking up, not like the first quarter, but it's picking up. It's moving. It's not like how it was before in the last two years, but they were talking about the Fed hike again. So they're saying they should have increased the rates in June. So they're gonna raise it again in July. So they don't know if it's gonna be a quarter. What they're saying, they should have increased it in June this month as well too. So we'll see how it goes. But like I said, there's homes out there, and I tell everybody we're not going to live until 200 years old, right? So there's always going to be homes here. People are always going to buy. People are always going to sell. People are always going to divorce. So it's a matter of getting the data. I've always said finding the data. If you can find data and you guys can fund it or turn it around, or there are properties out there. People are willing to buy. People are still, believe it or not, still asking over asking.
Mm-hmm.
and they're not from the mainland. They are here locally. So market is still strong. And you got to remember that Hawaii is an equity state.
Mm-hmm.
We are an equity state. So whatever you buy, you'll get on equity.
Yeah. I mean, I'm kind of feeling the same thing. I don't know if Dante, you're out there too, right? Like, are you seeing anything in the single family?
Specifically, I was looking at the condos, and like what Kurt said, like it's some, depending on certain areas, some of them are not like staying long on the market anymore. They're pretty much selling faster than usual. So, and then I got one into a bidding war too. I was surprised. I was like, what the hell?
Was that a listing, or were you representing the buyer?
Like, I was representing the buyer, and they're like, oh, there's more than one offer. I was like, what? So not again. So I was like, oh, not again. So
crazy.
We had to put more than over asking. So
I don't know what to think of it. I had I asked for Aiden because we actually have a new DSCR product that's pretty badass. Are we ready for it, by the way?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You want to share it real quick?
Yeah.
You guys want to hear it? So the DSCR, but it's also a short-term rental. But go ahead.
What's going on,
This is
guys?
Aiden. This is Adon.
Awesome. Do you have your AirPods in? Or?
No, I don't.
Okay. Yeah, so this just got released to us. I was poring over the guidelines all last night on it. It's honestly one of the most aggressive DSCR products I have seen out there. The reason why is we can do short-term rentals. We can qualify short-term rental without it having any short-term rental seasoning. The reason why that's important is a lot of times you're trying to get into an STR loan. The lender is going to require to see it have 12 months of short-term rental history, either on Airbnb, VRBO, something like that, or else they won't qualify as a STR. What we'll be able to do now is qualify as an unleased STR and take either 80% of AirDNA or 150% of the market rent shown on a 1007. So that's on your appraisal to qualify it. And what this can mean is properties that you may have long-term rentals that don't qualify in the markets you're in based on long-term rental market rents might be able to qualify as an unleased short-term rental with that data instead, because it doesn't need to be seasoned with any STR history. This can also go up to 75% LTV on refi. So really still good leverage, and the rates I'm seeing is we can get them in the 7s. So across the board, a really strong product, especially for properties here in Hawaii too. I'm trying to play some because we have a lot of, if anyone's trying to have rentals here in the islands, market rents usually never justify what they're making. But using STR data, we could probably get them qualified. So that's what we have going on right now. Fresh out of the oven, this product. So hopefully I'm not misspeaking, still working through the kinks, but if you guys have any rentals that you think that might, help you guys refi, let me know or let us know.
Do you guys have questions about it? I know it was kind of quick and high level, but I don't know if you guys understand the power in it. You want to dive a little bit more into that because it's more of the qualifications, the seasoning.
Yeah.
Like-
I mean, if you guys have any rentals that you've tried to refi and had issues with, a lot of times it's because market rents don't show up on the appraisal. You're getting one thing for your leases, but market rents say you should be getting $2,000 under what you're actually getting. Lenders always go off the lesser of the two in most cases. And so a lot of times those rentals get disqualified. Rentals where you might have multiple units in a single family home. And so you're getting multiple leases, but you can't use multiple leases or you can't refi out properties like that. This might be able to help as well. Actual short-term rental loans where you have an Airbnb, but you haven't had it seasoned for 12 months. You don't have a 12-month ledger. This can also help. So it can kind of catch a lot of properties that may fall outside of a typical DSCR box.
Thanks, bro. You guys, do you have any questions about it? It sounds like the DSCR market's coming back. And the reason why that's powerful too is because since interest rates went up so high and so fast, it killed the DSCR, right? Two things that kill DSCR is value, prices going up, the high price, and high interest rates, which we both got like quickly, right? So DSCR got shut down real quick, and but it sounds like it's coming back, just like the rest of the market. Like we'll see after this. Like Kurt's thinking, and I agree with Kurt. It sounds like it ain't over. With the rate hikes. So, but does anybody have any questions with Aiden while we got him? Good to go. Thanks, bro.
Yeah, you can drop my phone number in the chat if anyone has any
Okay.
questions. Maybe I'll help out.
Oh, wait, there is a comment. 1 second. Oh, there we go. Here, I'll put your number in there. Aiden's gonna put his contact info. I'm so proud of this guy, by the way, guys.
Oh, thanks, C.
Oh, there you go. She's the best. Okay. Well, there you go.
Awesome.
You are there. Thanks, dude.
No problem.
Thank you, guys. Well, if you do have questions, you got
Just-
Aiden's contact
Just a
now.
quick pop in from Aiden.
Yeah. Now get out. Oh shoot. Layla's on. Scram. We gotta tell him scram sometimes. No, I'm so proud of Aiden, man. Like I get to watch him lead now, with our new guys, and I follow my purpose, guys. Like this is what I do it for. I don't like money, I made money already, like shit. Yeah. And but I've given my life for this, I made sacrifices that, man, I don't know, maybe hopefully one day I don't look back and be like, that was crazy, like why did I do that? But I don't see any way, because like I get so much fulfillment from watching guys like Aiden just win, and then lead others to do the same. Oh, there's no other feeling. Sorry, I'm just sharing because like I think like something magical is happening here, and I hope to document it one day. We hired Idolo over here to hang out with us and just shoot, take pictures, take video, because I just, I feel like there's something special happening. And at the very least, maybe we won't even post it. Maybe we just keep it for ourselves, just for memories. If it's not content that I feel that can bring value to everybody else, then we'll just keep it, but yeah, that's what's going on in our office. And I feel like you guys are a part of our extended family. We meet every Friday and stuff, and a lot of times same people. So like you guys already feel like we're all one. So, but I really wanted to share that. We have 3 new guys from the mainland here for training. 2 from Vegas, Kane and Diedrich, and Joe from Tampa. And we've all been living together. We've been, dreaming together, everything together, and it's kind of been amazing. And I looking back, I was thinking, man, this could have went bad. Maybe people didn't get along. But I think everybody understands the opportunity in front of us. So much that nobody would dare, take that for granted. So, but it's exciting times for us in our company because we're growing, but we're growing the right way, with the right people, the right culture, and people who want it. That's what I think we all need, whether you're flipping houses, buying rentals, syndications, you're a realtor, or a broker, whatever business you're in, like you need winners by your side, and I've learned recently, and I've learned this lesson before, but like more, I think I'm feeling it now, understanding it. It's right timing for me, is that you need quality, in everything, people working with you, deals, and when you start to expect that, instead of just want it, that's when the magic happens, I feel. So anyways, thank you for letting me share that little tidbit about what's going on. And our doors are open, guys. If ever you guys want to come stop by and hang out, just come, just reach out, so we pretty much live here in the office nowadays. So oh, thank you, Helena. All right, guys. Well, I still want to hear about the market. Like I was gonna go side by side. So that was great info, Dante and Kurt. But maybe somebody in a different market. AT, I know you're in Kansas City. Kansas City, and is it not Indy? Are you in Indy too or no?
Yes, I am liquidating in Indy.
Okay.
So kind of focusing on Kansas City because I like the partnership over there.
Nice.
But so Kansas City.
You're
still
coming
has
in a
really
little
good pockets.
robot-y.
It's these new things that I don't like, I think.
Yeah. Let me. Is it on my side?
Yeah,
Oh,
can you hear me?
it's
Can you hear
still
me?
choppy on my side. I don't know if everybody else is hearing it or.
It sounds like the new strand of COVID.
Thanks, Greg. Okay, maybe we can still hear you, T. So go ahead. What are you seeing in Indy? Like, is that a flat market right now? Is it? Okay, now we definitely can't hear you. Or I can't, yeah. Okay, maybe we'll circle back. We'll circle back to you, T. Anybody else? Who's in another market here? Ben's in Seattle. Ben's in Washington. Yep. So that's
Yeah, I'm in the Seattle area.
Are you seeing the same as Jake? Because I know you guys are in different neighborhoods, and neighborhoods matter in Seattle, right?
Yeah, it's definitely picking up. Seeing things go pending faster. It's still low supply, that's just a constant problem here. So that's not really changed much, but yeah, things are going off the market faster. Prices are, we're seeing more multiple offers and things. So it's getting back to kind of how it was before.
Dang. Yeah, that was a kind of quick bump. Well, and in Washington, I kind of all around it took a pretty big spike up, right? And then we heard Amazon had fired or had to let go like 10,000 or 18,000 employees. Like, do you see, because like tech had a big layoff, right? A big round of layoffs. did you guys see any, do you know people personally that got laid off or,
Yeah, oh yeah.
yeah?
Yeah, it
Oh,
was, I mean, they let a lot of people go around here. Because that, I mean, that's a huge source of employment,
yeah.
and that's a lot of what was driving the crazy market we were having too.
Mhm.
Because, you know, people, most of the people that work in the tech companies get paid really well, and so they drove the prices up compared to, you know, say 10 years ago. In addition to just regular market appreciation. But we haven't really seen a big step backwards because of that, you know, in the market.
Mhm.
It kind of slowed up a little bit. We weren't seeing like the crazy multiple offer situations we were, you know, a year ago. But
Right.
there aren't like deals necessarily. You know, things aren't sitting that long. People are still getting list price or over most of the time. And really a lot of that's just down to inventory. We just don't have a good supply of inventory here. And there's no way to fix that. We've got too much water, too many mountains. Like we don't have space to build. It's too expensive to build in the space we do have. So
Yeah.
we're gonna have an inventory problem forever
Yeah.
unless, you know, everybody goes out of business in Seattle, which ain't gonna happen.
Right.
You know, it can slow, but it's not really gonna crash here.
Yeah, it's kind of like Hawaii, like with Seattle, the way I see it is like there's so many Fortune 500 companies that are headquartered there. And it's like,
Yeah.
they're not going anywhere. Yeah, they'll shave a portion of, you know, if they have to off, but like they're not going anywhere. So that's a strong market. Yeah. Do you know the number one employer in Washington? Who is it? Is it Amazon?
That, that's a good
Costco?
question because it could be Microsoft. It could
Oh, it could be
be
Microsoft.
Boeing. I mean, Boeing's got a lot of people here. I know they've moved a lot out, but we still, you know, we still have the two factories. So we do still
Right.
have a lot of Boeing employees here.
Yeah, I forgot Boeing is there.
Yeah. I mean,
Microsoft.
Microsoft and Amazon are probably like maybe largest by dollar amount.
Mhm,
Boeing might be larger in number of people.
mhm. Yeah.
Not entirely. And we have T-Mobile too. T-Mobile's huge. Starbucks is huge.
Oh,
I suspect
T-Mobile.
they're probably a little bit less than Amazon or Microsoft.
Right.
And that's
Yeah.
just in the Seattle area.
Yeah.
You know,
It's very cyclical though. Yeah.
Washington's big.
Seattle is a market that'll move like fast. I
Yeah.
remember. Yeah. I think I have PTSD from our Mercer Island projects out there. Just like, oh man, that was a wild ride.
Yeah, that's a unique
Yeah.
that's a unique area.
Oh yeah. I don't know if we'll do that again.
That's
People are
not
crazy though. So
indicative of the whole Seattle area.
yeah.
It's not all quite that extreme.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, we're seeing, I mean, Vegas is holding up too, right? Like, man. So we'll see. Like the good thing is that since like we understand the markets, like we understand what to look for, at least we're looking and watching and you know we're preparing for the worst and hoping for the best. Because like if I'm wrong and Vegas doesn't break, you know, and then that's actually even better for us, you know, so because that means like the market is strong and we have more players, you know, we're gonna have more deals coming through. And either way, like we can invest in any market, you know, if you stick to your fundamentals and you don't get crazy, like you can invest in any market, right? When it's down, up, you adjust your criteria and stuff. So we'll be fine either way, is what I'm saying. You know, and when you have the understanding of what to do, at least the basic framework, because you have the fundamentals and you know what to look for out there, then it's you can move through markets like this with so much more confidence, you know, and I feel like I'm so blessed just to be able to hear people's opinions every week and kind of like run things past, you know, you guys and hear what issues you're seeing out there is a true blessing. It's also, this call has also helped me process what I think, more. So that like, sometimes I do have to, like next week I'm going to speak on the NPLA panel in the conference. And like, I'm new to the lending industry, so that stage is intimidating. And, but what I've learned is that these calls with you guys help me frame, get my thoughts and my beliefs, framed together and coupled onto your guys' opinions and your thoughts and beliefs, like, has really helped me be able to just, share a stage like that and then not lose it, not blow it. Cause I've had reps talking with you guys, getting your opinions, and what's interesting is that the conversations are different because it's on different sides. We're on more we talk about investing and, and they talk more about the money side. And, but when you break it down, when you start talking about the markets and everything, it's all the same, we're all in the same boat, whether you're on the money side or on the investor side, it's the same ride we're on. So, which is pretty cool. I see a lot of names I haven't seen before. So if you guys feel open, feel free to unmute and introduce yourself. We're always looking to meet new people in our Coffee Talk family. So other than that, I mean, we went over the markets. That's the main thing kind of I wanted to get your guys' opinion on. Does anybody have anything else? Greg, you always got something going on.
Yeah, no, I don't know. I just I'm in the middle of a rehab. Oh, I do have one thing I'm struggling with right now. I don't know how relevant this is or whatever, but I do have a tenant that they kind of like, well, they've fallen behind and it's like my highest value tenant. So they make up a big chunk of cash flow. So I'm kind of struggling with that. I'm like trying to do my best to balance between like helping them and like, being a part of the solution. And I'm big on like fighting the whole like slumlord stigma and all that. So I try really hard to like treat my tenants really well. But yeah, it's a tough one, man. Like they're not communicating, and I've laid it out for them. I was like, look, I need some kind of expectations. They're like, we don't know. Like this is such a struggle. Like we've never, been in this situation and all this. It's like, maybe you don't have the answers, but at least tell me, like, set something. You know what I mean? Like, say, like, hey, listen, our goal is to pay $1,000 at Friday, and then maybe another 800 the next Friday or whatever. Like, give me something. And then, like, if things change, then come back and let me know. Hey, this is what happened. I didn't get paid as much as I thought, or whatever. But yeah, they're not really communicating. So it's frustrating, man. It's like I want to help them. I really do, but we're halfway through the month right now. And this might not be a big deal to some, I don't know. I know a lot of landlords are not like really super on it when it comes to collecting rent, but like, that's my one biggest thing is because I've just heard too many horror stories. So for me, like when a tenant moves in, I let them know, like, listen, we're 3 things we're strict on. Pay your rent before the 1st, not on the 1st. Communicate, have very open communication, and take good care of the property. And then anything you need, it'll be done like within minutes. You know what I mean? Like, or responded, action within minutes. Like someone texted me the other day, oh, it'd be really nice if we could get air conditioning in this living room. Less than 5 minutes later, she's got a text with my handyman copied where, hey, he can be there for 9 a.m. Does that work? But, like, so I try and treat my tenants really, really good, but I expect that stuff in return. Yeah, they're not communicating. Their rent is $4,000. So they are, like I said, the highest rent unit by far that we have, kind of our flagship property. And so far for this month, they've paid $850. So they're $3,200 behind and it's like, you know, halfway through the month. Like now is the time when I'm starting to prepare to start collecting next month's rent, like in, you know, about usually the last week of the month. Like I like to have people paying by the 25th, 27th, something like that. So you're not stressed out when the 30th comes if you can't get, you know, make it happen or something comes up. So yeah, I'm struggling with that emotion, like personally, because I'm, you know, to me, it's like if you guys don't start making an effort to communicate with me, at least communicate and let me know where your head's at, what your goals, you know, what's happening. I feel like it's like I got to start preparing to file eviction, which I don't want to do. I've never had to evict anybody. But yeah.
What's the reason they can't pay anymore?
So this is a family of multi-generational family. It's when they moved in, it was, so there's a young girl, she's like 20, what is she? I'm just parking at Lowe's right now. So the girl is like 20, she's probably 27 or so. She's like mid 20s. And she's got 2 kids. She's a single mom. And then her mom lives with her. And then when we originally signed the lease like a year and a half ago, her mom's mom also, and the mom's sister. So it was grandma, auntie, mom, daughter, and their 2 kids. The mom or the grandma and the aunt had to move to the mainland for like some health thing, like treatment for something or something like that. So that's the problem. So
Yeah.
now instead of them each paying $1,000 a month, they have to make up for the other half. But what I don't understand is like, but you guys should still be able to pay $2,000. Like you're half, right? Like, so why are you only paying $850? But they're not communicating, you know, like if they would at least tell me like, this is what's going on, it's a lot easier to work with them and, you know, to be understanding. But when I just don't know, and I keep asking them too, I'm sending these texts like, listen, just give me some kind of idea of what's happening and what you are hoping to, you know, and they're not giving me anything. They're like, we don't know. And it's like, that's a problem, man. I can't just have this open-ended going on forever because this, you know, this one could hurt us if it goes on too long. Yeah, it's a tough one, you know. It's
Are you
like,
leaning towards like you're leaning towards starting the process or not yet? That's a hard story. That's why, right? Like it's but
tough.
like,
Yeah,
look,
bro.
It's tough, but if it's hurting you, you know, like you gotta do what you gotta do, you know. And I think you've been accommodating, right? So but they're probably in survival mode, maybe, if that's the case, because they might have that money, but that might be all they have. You know what I mean? It's like,
Yeah.
okay, do I
Yeah,
pay
which
to have
like,
the roof?
and I respect that. Like if they
Right.
told me that, I'd be
But
like,
just be
that
on,
makes sense. You should have something for you know, food and safety. Yeah, you know, but like,
yeah.
just gotta communicate with me though too. Yeah, so it's a really tough one.
Yeah.
I'm not planning on like filing eviction right now or anything. I'm thinking like if I don't have some kind of effort or communication, maybe I'll start the process like in a week or so, or like towards, you know, later this month. That way, at least starts because it's going to take time. And you know, if they start making an effort or turning around, I can always just cancel and stop it. The main thing that I'm doing though is that I work with because I do a lot of Section 8 rentals and stuff. I work with a lot of the organizations that do rental assistance. And I've done this a bunch of times with my tenants where like if somebody gets in a situation, like they lost their job or whatever, I hook them up with Family Life Center, Catholic Charities Hawaii, MEO, you know, we got these programs here. And they can get the rental assistance, you know, they got to jump through a few hoops, provide the paperwork and all that. And so the problem is like, I think people get into like a fight or flight mode where or more like they freeze in fear sort of thing.
Mhm.
It's kind of like when people are in foreclosure and they just don't do anything. It's
Yeah.
like you've got a solution, you know, like here, I've got an offer for you. You can walk away with 200 grand cash and save your foreclosure, you know, but they just frozen in fear and don't take any action. And it's like, I don't know. I've seen it before too, with tenants where they fall behind and then they completely ghost me because they don't want to give me bad news and they're scared of what I'm going to say, or I don't know, but they're kind of starting to do that now. So I'm a little worried about it. And the worst part about all this is that the property is not looking that great. You know, like I was there a couple days ago and I picked up like 20 cigarette butts, the water bottles, like trash in the yard. And we spent like 10 grand to build like a nice concrete patio with gravel and landscaping and stuff for like, you know, barbecue area. And this is like a $1.5 million house. Like it's not a slum, you know, house. So, and there's like all this dog poop in the gravel from like really old and stuff. And it's like, man, guys, like if you're at the very least, if you're not working enough and don't have enough income and you're this far behind, at least like keep the property presentable. You know what I mean? Because that just makes it even harder.
Yeah.
And they're having guests like staying with them and stuff. And it's just which, hey, if they were telling me and like, hey, letting me know like what's going on and stuff, it's probably no big deal at all. But like from my perspective, I'm like, man, they
There's
got
more
trash everywhere.
electricity, more water, more load on the house. Like it's consideration. Like when you say staying, I'm assuming that not staying for the week, visiting, it's living in there.
I think it's visiting, but there's been like in the last 3 months, they've had like 3 different people that came to visit for like 2, 3, 4 weeks. So like it's a lot of visitors. Yeah,
Right.
borderline becoming residents. And we had to talk about it too. It's like, look, if they're there for more than 2 weeks, that's we need to have a serious conversation. Because you can have guests, but you can't have someone move in without us talking about it. And yeah, so all that stuff. And not only is it more utilities and everything, but it's also taking their time away, you know, when they're hanging out with their friends, when they
Yeah.
could be out looking for another job
Solving the
or working on
problem.
the rental assistance. Yeah, like all the rental assistance, it's so frustrating because it's like, it's just simple steps. Send them your pay stubs, you know, blah, 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 blah. And like, if you just do that, they're going to give you like 15 grand because they're going to pay your back rent plus 3 months, you know,
Right.
like, and you're too busy hanging out. So I don't know. I'm like trying to be really understanding, but at the same time, it's a tough one. It's tough. You know, it's like tears you, right?
Yep. Sounds
Yeah.
like, man, you're nicer than me. I'll just put it that way. You're nice. You're a great guy, Greg. I like to think I'm a great guy, you know, but you're a great guy, dude. Yeah.
Thanks,
Yeah.
bro. Yeah,
We're
it's
rooting
tough
for you,
though,
man. We
Well,
know
I
that.
heard
like,
something
yeah.
interesting. I was watching. There was a TBS had a documentary about eviction that was kind of from like COVID. I think it's like a year, like 2.5 years old or something. And they, you know, documented a bunch of people that were getting evicted like later, I think in the COVID stage or whatever, during COVID stuff. And anyways, the point is they shared a really interesting fact. I don't remember what the exact percentage was, but the overwhelming majority of tenants that get evicted are single mothers.
Mhm.
That blew my mind. I was like, holy shit, like that's messed up, right? But at the same time, it makes sense. Like that's what I see also, because like, you know, in this case, the daughter is a single mother. The mom is a single mother to the grown-up daughter. And they're in that position. And then there's also a lot of, we could go into about gender inequality, right? And like women just don't make as much as men. So there's, I don't know, that's a whole nother topic, but I've seen it before too. 2 other tenants that I've had issues with, were single mothers. There was one tenant that I had an issue with that was a full family, but 2 other ones were both single mothers too. And then, so it's heartbreaking to see. But yeah, when I saw that, I was like, wow, that's really like interesting to understand that that's the statistic. How can I help not be a part of that problem? But it's bigger than me, right? I think it comes, like, a lot of it comes down to employers and wages, and wages for everybody not keeping up with inflation, but let alone for women in the workplace.
Yeah,
it's tough.
That's a tough one. But
Yeah.
I don't. You hear the stories too of the single mothers that just thrive, right? So
Yeah.
I think first everyone has to like look inward, first, and man, hopefully that works out. I know like this is just a headache, for you. So, but like
Yeah.
you're a great guy, like, because actually, you're more tolerant than I am, I think, because that stuff gets under my skin. Like, and then because I hear stories all the time, I'm surrounded by them, like people. The stories of some of our guys in our office just will amaze you, and that's just in our office, like everybody's got a story. Everybody's had hardships, but everybody has responsibilities too, obligations, so.
Yeah. And partially, like, I get torn too, because I do feel that I have a somewhat of a duty to the tenants to enforce the rules. First off, I got to follow Fair Housing Act. But besides that, in just for their own best interest, letting them get away with murder is not good for them, because they might get, really, especially younger ones. Like my very first tenant was a young family, and they were the family that ended up, I had to kick them out, and they left owing me $3,000, and, didn't want to go get a job. They just sat around smoking weed. And and it was like, I had to kick them out, because I probably did them more harm than good by letting them stay as long as I did, because now they think that's how the world works. Like, that was an early 20s family with 2 young girls that, like, the next place they go to is probably not going to be that understanding.
Yeah.
It depends. I don't know. But anyways, good. The good thing is, like, for me, it's a really high class problem. I'm really fortunate that that's my best property. So it's still, like, it's not losing money, right? Like, it's still that. In fact, they still, like, makes cash flow even with them not paying anything. So but I mean, that property also makes up half of our monthly cash flow almost. Like, that's a really, really good property.
Right.
So, so it still hurts us, but it's not like it's going to put us out of business or anything. So, yeah, I take that into account also. But anyways,
totally.
hopefully the rental assistance will come through, and that'll hopefully buy them time to go look for something else. Because honestly, I don't want to keep dealing with it.
Yeah, I feel you, bro.
Yeah.
Well, we wish you the best, man, and like, you always do the right thing. So like, it's gonna be, I know they're in good hands. They may not even they probably don't even deserve to be in your hands right now. Hopefully they realize
Troy,
one day.
I appreciate that.
No,
They do. They say a lot of. They do say things like, "Oh, we love renting from you. Like, we want to find something cheaper, but we want to stay with you because you're the best landlord ever," and stuff like that. So that's nice to hear. But at the same time, I'm like, well, I don't want to stay with you guys. I can't.
Right.
There's no way I could justify putting you in another rental after this experience. Even though I understand the circumstance, I can't.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Well,
but
credit
thanks,
to you,
man. I
bro.
appreciate your feedback.
No, yeah. Yeah, and it's genuine, man. So, well, thank you guys for another great call. Next week, I know we're gonna be traveling, so we might have to Kikoa is kind of traveling always. So we'll put it out there though if we have to reschedule the call. But as of right now, we're still on. So you guys got time to show up. We'll see you guys next week. Have a great weekend, guys. Happy Aloha Friday. We'll see you guys. Hello, everybody.